ring culture matter when Jordan only had 3 rings?
That shit's so easy. For the same reason that it has mattered for the last 22 years, where you were thinking that LeBron James was going to catch Jordan. But now that you realize that he's not going to catch him, now all of a sudden ring culture doesn't matter. It's the same disingenuous shit that LeBron James fans pull all the time. I can break it down as simple as this. Rings matter. Winning matter. You don't get into this game to lose. Winning and being the best matters. When you are the best player on the team, it adds to your legacy. Even if you're the second best player on the team, it adds to your legacy. It's a concoction of all things. So now what y'all want to do is you want to disqualify certain things in order to make your guy great. You've been rooting for this guy to surpass Michael Jordan, or at least match up with him, and get 6 rings for 22 damn years. Now all of a sudden the puppet master says something, and now here you go, and here Gilbert goes. Gilbert Arenas, as long as he made $150 million, was okay with losing. I'm not shocked. He was okay with being a loser. And before you think I'm throwing shade, that man said it on his own podcast. He said, if I had to choose between $150 million and, say, making $60 million and winning a championship, would I? He said no, he would not. He would take the $150 million that he made. I'm not making shit up. But here's some examples, right? Robert Horry has 7 rings, but Robert Horry was nowhere close to the first, second, or third best player on his team in those 7 rings. That disqualifies him. Bill Russell has 11 championships, but he has nowhere near the accolades that Michael Jordan has. But you can make a case for Bill Russell because he has that many more championships than everybody else, even though there were only 8 teams in the league at the time. Wilt Chamberlain had the stats, but he couldn't beat Bill Russell, so he only had 2 championships. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird pretty much canceled each other out because it was almost dead even between them two. And they weren't absent from the scene when Michael Jordan showed up. LeBron James has statistics that we marvel at offensively. Yeah, offensively. He offensively has statistics that we marvel at. But here's the problem with LeBron James, because offensively, he never chose what he wanted to be. That hurt his legacy. Therefore, LeBron James and the way he plays actually hurt him, and I'll tell you why. Because he didn't choose which one he wanted to be, LeBron James lacks in the accomplishments and the accolades. The difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and I've said it in the past and I'll say it again, the difference between what they accomplished is a full Kevin Durant career and then some. My brother, the truth shall set you free. Michael Jordan is the biggest part to an NBA shutdown. And what I mean by that is, on Michael's watch, 6 of the 7 years, Michael Jordan won championships. Do you know what that means? That means in the 90s, while Jordan was playing, there was only one champion other than the Chicago Bulls. Once Jordan started winning, nobody ate. Outside of Bill Russell, nobody else can say that. During LeBron's era, you have individuals who have 5 rings, 4 rings. You have Kobe Bryant, who played in both eras, really, and ended up with 5 rings. You have Shaq, who had 4 rings. You have Tim Duncan, who has 5 rings. You have Steph, who had 4 rings. You have Kawhi, who had 2 rings. You have KD, who has 2 rings. You have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and even Kevon Looney, who has 4 rings. And the majority of the players that I said got rings in the time that LeBron James was playing. And the majority of the players that I'm talking about got rings at LeBron James's expense. So what you all want to do, including You're king. What y'all want to do is you want to divide and conquer. You want to separate the shit that's not favorable and then say, well, look at the rest of this stuff. Look at this. Let's remove this out of the conversation and let's look at this and let's look at my stats. The fact of the matter is, if you go down the game, and I made this point yesterday, if you look at the stats, LeBron James appears to be a better small forward than Larry Bird. But if you look at their game, there wasn't a thing that Larry Bird couldn't do. Larry Bird could shoot free throws. Larry Bird could shoot. Larry Bird had a mid-range game. Larry Bird had a jump shot. Larry Bird had a stop, pull-up jump shot from the mid-range. Larry Bird could get to the rim. Larry Bird could pass. Larry Bird could rebound. There wasn't a thing that Larry Bird could not do. Whereas LeBron James' game has holes in it. We'll start with not being able to shoot free throws consistently. No mid-range game to speak of. No floater. No nothing from the mid-range. Ball security. LeBron James has more than 1,000 more turnovers than anybody else in the history of the NBA. He isn't consistent defensively. He plays defense really when he wants to. It's been well documented. There was one year, I believe it was 2018, where LeBron James was in the 300th percentile when it came to defensive efficiency. 300th. It was like 315, 318 or something like that. There's only 450 players in the league. What am I saying with what I'm saying right now? If you take rings, if you take his 4 rings off the table, LeBron James possibly slides down the totem pole. So that's why rings matter. Y'all need to put them rings back on the table. God bless. Show off.
You said a bunch of non-champions having championship conversations.
I got to be honest, I waited for this to happen. I knew it would be Draymond. And I'll tell y'all why I knew it would be Draymond. Because without 4 rings, who is Draymond? People have ordained Draymond Green to be Hall of Fame caliber, Hall of Fame material. Why? Draymond averages 8 points a game for his career, 6 rebounds, 6 assists for his career. You know what y'all say about the teams that LeBron James beat? The team that it had 3 Hall of Famers on it. It was the greatest team ever assembled. The 92 Dream Team is the greatest basketball team ever assembled. Draymond cannot even ride with Big Homie, his big homie on this. You want to know why? Because Draymond, averaging 8 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, has as many rings as the big homie, LeBron. But if anything makes Draymond a Hall of Famer, those 4 rings will make him a Hall of Famer. Do y'all get that? Him calling himself the greatest defender of all time ain't gonna cut it, because everybody knows he's not. In my opinion, the greatest defender of all time is Scottie Pippen. But in a league where no one talks about defense, and in a league where 2 of the best 3 players in the world right now are defensive liabilities because you don't hold defense to be important at all, which is half the game, I would expect these things. Because here's the truth. When it comes to these stats, right? You have individual accolades that you win yearly, okay? Things like MVP, 6th Man of the Year, scoring champion, comeback player of the year, steals champion, assist champion, defensive player of the year, etc. You get honored for your body of work, your career, one time and one time only. And that is 5 years after you retire, if you are deemed to be good enough. Everything comes into play with that. There are some people who have sacrificed their ability to be recognized as a Hall of Famer to go play with other people, or at least sacrifice their ability to be a first ballot Hall of Famer or second ballot Hall of Famer, or whatever the case may be, to go play with other people and hurt their legacy. The first person I can think of is Kevin Love. With the numbers that Kevin Love was putting up until he went to until he went to Cleveland. Kevin Love was a surefire Hall of Famer. Now, I think it's consensus that we pretty much don't know if he's going to make it in, even though he got a ring out of the transaction. In my opinion, Chris Bosh does not get in without those 2 rings. Without 2 rings. Even though the numbers that he was putting up before he went to Miami, he was a surefire Hall of Famer. Where y'all get caught up because you start talking about the longevity stats and all of these things. Once again, people are getting caught up in the fact that you only get honored one time for your body of work, all right? One time. And that's at the end of your career. One accolade can come out of playing the longest and scoring the most points while playing the longest, and only one thing. But if you dominate year to year, you can get a championship ring. You can get a scoring championship. You can get an assist championship. You can get first team all anything. You can get all of these different things. So what it boils down to is LeBron James has had the greatest NBA career that we've ever seen. But that doesn't make him the better or best player. It doesn't make him the greatest of all time. He's had the greatest career of all time, which is going to equal the same thing that Ben Wallace got a couple of years ago. Hall of Fame. LeBron James came back from down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. Nobody had ever done it before. But LeBron James said that made him the greatest of all time. But you lost those first 3 games on your own accord. It's not like you showed up and then y'all won 3 straight. No, you were involved in those first 4 games. When Kevin Durant joined Golden State, people need to understand that they were saying there's no way the Cavaliers are going to win a championship because Kevin Durant was the 4th Hall of Famer joining that team. Once again, without those 4 championships, is Draymond Green a Hall of Famer? Does he even make the Hall of Fame with those four rings? The rings get him closer. The reason in the last video that I said LeBron James never picked one, therefore it hurt his legacy because he wasn't winning scoring titles, because he wasn't winning assist titles, so on and so forth, because he wanted to do it all, is because when you pour milk and you pour more milk into a glass than the glass can hold, milk spills. Not choosing to be a scorer took away from your scoring. Not choosing to be a Magic Johnson style player took away from your assists. No scoring championships. You got 1 scoring championship, 1 assist championship. He wasn't dominating like he could have dominated because of his choice to play the way that he played, and it is what it is. Tell me this conversation isn't different if LeBron James has 8 scoring titles. Tell me this conversation isn't different if LeBron James has 8 assist titles. Tell me it isn't. This is why I am the GOAT of the basketball debate. God bless. Show off.